So why don't we talk about a list that we had trouble naming? Top 10 board games, tabletop games, family games.
Oh Lord.
Well,
What are
I
we
ain't
going to
playing
call
Monopoly with
these?
someone I hate. Have you ever played Monopoly with me? Shit.
Well, yeah. Okay. I've got a story about Clue, but if they're in the top 10, maybe we'll talk about it when we get there. Why don't we get the list started out right?
Be-
And number
before
10,
you
Trivial
do,
Pursuit.
there you go. Yeah, I was going to say, before you do, remember, there was a lot of fuckery involved in naming this poll, and that is a triple word score tonight, sir. On to Trivial Pursuit, Terry.
So it's hard to take a good picture of a board game. So I just went with the old picture of here's the contents of the box. So Trivial Pursuit. I haven't played a lot of Trivial Pursuit.
Oh, we used to have
We didn't
Trivial
have it.
Pursuit nights,
Okay.
but we used to have it. It was so insane that we would have 6 different kinds of cards. So you had 2 dice, one for what box your questions came from, and one for the actual game. We were
Extreme.
big Trivial Pursuit people growing up.
Yeah, this could go for hours.
Mhm.
Hours.
I
I could never beat my late father at Trivial Pursuit. The man had so much stupid, useless knowledge, and I have stupid, useless knowledge. It fails in comparison to what he had. And then he'd break out the box from the 70s and 80s.
Yeah.
That's total cheating.
Yeah.
Like, nobody knows those, Dad. I do.
Yeah, I saw one online where they were talking about this one guy has never played Batman, but by the time that you saw it now, every single one of them have played Batman.
That's great.
Hilarious. Yeah.
I used to love this game so much, but I used to have a cheating trick. If it was a history question, which I was never good at, and if it was a guy, the answer was Sir William Raleigh, and if it was a woman, it was Mary Queen of Scots. You had a really good chance if you answered those for the history questions.
The Moops.
What the
It's the
fuck is a
Moops.
moop?
That's a Seinfeld reference
Oh.
where George is playing. I think it's Trivial Pursuit against the Bubble Boy, and there's a typo where it's supposed to be the Moors, but it says the Moops, and he gets all pissed off and destroys his bubble. But anyway,
I just saw a reel of, you mentioned George Costanza, of him arguing with the chef over the bread that he didn't get, and it was going to cost $3.
no good for you.
That's it for you.
Number 9, Scattergory.
Scattergory.
Love this
Yeah.
game.
This game was fun because
It's still fun.
Yeah, this was one my mother loved, but she would be the one that would tell him, scratch it, because you had the same answer. So this is another one that can go a really long time, depending on how many people you have playing.
That's what she said.
That is true too.
Wow,
She definitely
there's a lot
said
of
it.
layers in that. That's
Ooh.
what she said. Wow, yeah, okay. This one's another one I haven't played a lot. Maybe my subset of games is different than yours.
Apparently.
This is something
so.
the Golden Girls would love.
Mhm.
All 4. So, and I know the other one loves categories.
I'll bring this to the next gathering.
That would be fun, seriously. Because no, it's a great game, Terry. Like you roll the dice, you pick the letter, things that start with Q, isn't it, Allison? So then you have to, every answer has to have a Q, and you get the card, and it's whatever.
I've
The problem
probably
is
played it before, just not a lot.
the problem is you've got to be creative enough to
Yes.
not just go for the obvious answer, because that's
Right.
what everybody else does. So then you lose the point.
And if you have an answer that has 2 words that both start with that letter, you get double points.
Correct.
So you could start getting really, really
Nice.
competitive. So this is a very good game. I agree.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we'll do it. Go ahead. What's number 8, Terry?
Number 8, Battleship.
I loved Battleship as a kid.
Battleship. My problem is I was the youngest of 3, and my brother and sister were older, and I was always begging somebody to play Battleship with me. It's hard to play Battleship by yourself, guys.
Correct.
Mhm.
Correct. And it's really, there's very little skill to this game.
Right.
It's essentially once you find where the ship is with the hit or miss,
Just keep going.
just keep going, and they can only go two ways, either vertical or horizontal.
Or if you clump them all up,
Yeah.
you got to think the other guy's not going to guess that you clumped them up. There's some strategy there because you think
There's
it's like, well, I got 5 in a row. How did I not sink anything? It's like, I
entry
don't know.
level
Maybe I got it.
strategy at the very best, Terry. Come on now. Entry level strategy. Not like Clue.
Number
What's
7,
it's number 7?
Oh, I love this game.
Candyland.
Ugh.
I still play this with my niece and my nephew, mostly
Yes,
my
little
nephew.
kid thing.
But it's so much fun. And it's easy. The rules are simple. And if you cheat, you get caught. That's it.
Not a fan of Candyland. I was way too advanced for Candyland.
I prefer Shoots and Ladders over Candyland.
Like I'm a card shark. I was like a game shark as a kid because we didn't have television. So Candyland was very elementary, and I was not interested.
Well,
I'm with
that's one
Terry.
thing we
Shoots
do
and
need to
ladders,
mention.
Dungeons and Dragons, that sort of stuff.
We were pretty liberal about what we allowed on the list, but we did take traditional card games out because that's a whole
Right.
category on its own. We
Correct.
probably will do a list of that later because once you start opening up Rook or Uno or something, you're gonna add 20 more options, and
Yep.
it deserves its own category.
No.
All right.
Number 6. Sorry.
Good one. My son and I play this. And there's a lot of different versions nowadays, but the original is the best one because man, there's nothing like yelling out sorry and then throwing a piece across the room. I mean, we might have done that once or twice.
Maybe.
Not competitive at all.
No.
I've hinted at this, but we may have a story once we get the clue if it's on the list. But
All right.
Yeah, Terry lost his shitting clue. Apparently, I can't wait to
can't
hear
wait for
this.
this one.
well,
All right.
Number 5,
Oh,
Clue.
There it is.
So fun
And
fact,
I love Clue.
this was not on my list.
Okay.
I love this game.
So you're
love
the
this
reason this
game.
dropped down. I love
Yeah,
this.
sorry.
'Cause you can bluff people, and that's what caused my problem.
Oh.
So we were in college. We're sitting around somebody's apartment. We're playing.
Was alcohol involved?
I don't know. Normally, yes, alcohol would have been involved in college. This night, it may have been before alcohol. But we're playing Clue, and there's several of us playing, and I've got the rope, but I guess the rope.
Oh, that's good.
And then one of my friends goes, "That doesn't make sense," and starts speaking this logic out. And I'm like,
What are you doing?
I'm like, "Shut up, Ann. Shut up. Shut up, Ann." And it just starts intensifying. And then, we didn't play Clue anymore after that because my strategy backfired. And, it didn't turn out well. I mean, it didn't get too bad. We weren't screaming at each other, but I did not like my bluff being called, and not even somebody calling my bluff, but
Giving away your
just
strategy.
not knowing enough that I was bluffing. But I will say, Happy Mother's Day, Anne. Your daughters are beautiful.
And it is a universally loved game. As I joke, it was Colonel Mustard in the library with the candlestick. I still say that. I still say shit like that in my everyday life, that it was Molly, the pit bull, in the bedroom chewing the computer cable.
But there was a movie.
I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
The movie was phenomenal. Tim Curry was
Curry's
amazing.
great.
Oh my God. That movie was so good. So the reason I didn't like this game, I come from a family of cheaters. Okay? Y'all have met George. You know George. George and my brother, my dad and my brother, Constantine, horrible cheaters. So this game was one, Scattergories is another, and goddamn if Pictionary is on here, the freaking worst. They used to write the words on the paper. I would get so I refuse to play certain games now. And
Write
that's
the
one
words on the paper.
Yeah. Fucking cheaters. Anyway,
That
okay.
ruins the whole thing.
It does.
Similar, we had Win, Lose, or Draw. You remember that
yeah.
show?
Mhm.
We had
Yeah.
the board game version of that, and that's not too different than
No.
Pictionary, but yeah, it was that was fun too.
I liked when you used to get the easels and play with people. Like,
Yeah.
really make it a group game. That part's fun. All right, but we're off Clue now. So what's next?
Number 4,
Oh,
the game of life.
Very
So-
long
Good
game.
one.
It's an afternoon game when it's raining. It's a fun one.
Yeah.
You get the pink. You get the gender centric babies. I bet you they don't have blue and
Well,
pink
I was-
anymore.
I was just gonna ask if the game of life has changed because I don't know if you guys remember this, but one of the things you do is you go get married,
Yep.
and I'm like,
And then you have children,
and then you have children.
and you assume their identities
Correct.
and their genders.
Well, not that part, but like the part that I'm talking about is what if you don't want to get married? What if you don't want to have kids? It's like it's like a detriment in this game.
For the rule follower in this group, you should know that if you land on you're having a baby,
You're having a
a damn
baby.
baby.
You should be playing the alternate title that they came out with, the single life.
Yeah. I mean, well, no, but I mean, I that's the only thing about this game that used to upset me. It's like, okay, did you ever play Careers?
I don't need no
That was
man.
the same one. Well, no. I mean, I do, but I don't. But yeah.
I'm an independent woman, but I got needs, bitches.
Alrighty then. So next, okay,
Number
we'll move on.
3, Scrabble.
Oh, this is
You
Andrew's
damn
favorite.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, it's
Yes,
great.
I love
mean, and
this
is-
game.
and obviously, Words with Friends is a complete ripoff here.
Yep.
And that's huge.
Yep.
That's a huge cell phone game.
This was my grandmother's favorite game. I have the old set that rotates, and it's a thick plastic board with like little grooves for the letters.
Mm-hmm.
This game, she would kick my ass though every time.
Man, that reminds
Every
me of another game I didn't put on the list with Upwards. Do y'all
Yep.
remember Upwards? That was a good one.
I was a wordsmith, so
I can
this
imagine
was
that.
this was a game I had a lot of fun, and a lot of people didn't have fun playing with me. And then we would we'd have the dictionary sitting there,
Yep.
and they'd try to spell something. I'd be challenge, and they're like,
Oh man.
I
so
can totally see that.
I was that guy. And again, naming this list, fuckery was a triple word score because we had no idea what to call it. No idea what to call it. But
Hmm.
Terry is correct. Scrabble is now commonly known as Words with Friends and is just as controversial.
Oh, you
On the-
can definitely cheat on Words with Friends. I mean, they got some good
100%.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I stopped
Number
playing with my
2.
brother because he cheated. So yeah,
Yahtzee.
Yahtzee.
love this game.
Oh, it is
This-
so simple yet addictive.
This was the when you were sick game in my house. You played triple Yahtzee because you could. I loved this game.
It's great.
Well, you are a gambler.
I was
That's-
just gonna
it
say.
fits-
I mean, it is dice and
Well,
you
there's
know.
fits-
that. Yeah.
fits right into the degenerate shit.
Oh, but you got that strategy though. You're like,
Mhm.
do I put this here
Yep.
or do I put it on this one?
Yeah.
How much confidence do I have that I'm going to get this later?
Mhm.
Well, and that was always the fun part because you roll 5 ones. Do you want to put it under Yahtzee or do you want to put it under the ones as an
Oh,
example?
yeah.
And you always put it under the ones because you took the chance you were going to roll Yahtzee again. Because if I'm not mistaken, in the cup 3 rolls,
Correct.
and we always lost the cup.
Always.
Always.
Or
I mean,
we lost
ended up.
dice. So
Yeah,
would
we
have-
ended up doing this. Yeah, we'd lose. Oh, yeah, you'd have to roll the damn dice twice to get 5.
What are the chips?
So
I never
that's-
used them.
I think that's betting.
Okay.
I don't remember. I don't think I ever used them.
Interesting.
Betting and your family didn't use
I know.
them.
I know. You're
Interesting.
shocked. Hey, I could tell you stories about learning how to play poker when I was 4, but I mean,
I love poker. Me and
We-
George will be talking about that in
Mm.
Vegas.
every holiday we would play cards when my grandparents were alive. No matter
was
what
a
it
set-
was.
I was a 7-card stud guy, but good luck
Mm.
finding a table these days.
Yeah.
That would be a good list. The traditional card games would be a good list for Vegas week.
Vegas week, yeah.
Yep. Oh, and by the way, since we mentioned Madonna, I thought of a poll, guys, and I want to mention it to both of you so I don't forget. Female vocalists.
Oh, that'll be good.
Oh, we're gonna be all over the place though. I think
It
we're gonna
will
do
be.
by genre.
I
Well,
don't know.
I think
maybe.
we need a separate one for female-led bands.
Right. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's a good
talking
one, too.
female
All right.
vocalists.
All right,
Yeah.
let's do it. Okay.
No.
Number
Celine-
one,
Celine Dion,
shouldn't
Whitney
be a
Houston.
surprise. Monopoly.
I told you.
Best game.
I predicted this was going to win.
It was
Absolutely.
in a
Now-
runaway. I mean, I was looking at the data. It definitely ran away from everything.
This game is stupid though because everybody. No. It's not actually stupid.
Okay.
This is the game that gets families in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Because people get pissed off, shit gets thrown. You're bankrupting somebody because they landed on Park Place, and you've got both Park Place and Boardwalk with 3 hotels or whatever. Yeah, Monopoly. We played a ton of Monopoly at my house, and
So I like to collect monopolies.
ooh,
Have you guys ever played the different versions of monopolies? Because
Yeah,
I
I've
don't
got
know.
Auburnopoly and Huntsvilleopoly.
So some of the versions have different rules, which I think is phenomenal. Like one of my favorites is Lord of the Rings Monopoly. You
Mm,
play with a ring as well.
okay.
okay,
And so like every time you roll doubles, the ring moves 1. And if you rolled doubles and that ring moved onto a space that wasn't owned yet, you could buy it.
interesting.
Really neat. It was so I probably have about 20 or 30
Oh wow. That's
versions
good.
And
Monopoly.
that's something we didn't talk about, but this is as good a time to talk about it as any. There is no longer just Monopoly, to your point, any more than there are some of these other games. The variants, you have the Harry Potter this, the Lord of the Rings that, and it's not restricted to Monopoly. Ladies and gentlemen, this is called marketing and sales. This is what they are doing, because it's not just Monopoly. As Terry said, he's got Huntsvilleopoly and Auburnopoly.
That's like when a
so-
rock band says your city name in their song. It's like, oh, they just said Boston. You know, that kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Exactly. Exactly. And nobody cares about Boston. They're a bunch of massholes. But to your point, it's all marketing. That's all it is. And you saw, as you're mentioning, Allison, I'm terrible with this because I am older than I want to be. But probably 20 years ago, 15 to 20, you saw a resurgence in the Monopoly games where they started making them every whatever variant. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yes.
They're every sort of variant. So the traditional Monopoly, the 4 railroads, the Park Place, the Boardwalk, the Chance, all that, free parking. Did you guys play the free parking rule where you collect the money in the middle?
Of course.
Yes. Okay. That's the
So-
way to do it.
Another fun thing about Monopoly, which surprising to me, so many people don't know this, is that the streets in Monopoly, everything you see is from Atlantic City.
Mm-hmm.
So if you go to Atlantic City and you're walking up and down the boardwalk, you see all these streets. And my son had no idea. So when
Oh,
we were
that's
there
cool.
last year, we were walking down the boardwalk and he's scootering and I'm pointing out the street names to him and I wasn't telling him why. And he says to me, gee, all these street names are like the streets of Monopoly. I'm like,
Exactly.
well, they're all here. And he's like, what? So
That's
kind of
great.
cool.
That's awesome.
All right, let me run it down. Number 10, Trivial Pursuit. Number 9, Scattergories. Number 8 is Battleship, one of my favorites. 7 is Candyland for the kiddos. Number 6 is Sorry. Number 5 is Clue, my top choice, as I stated. Number 4 is The Game of Life. 3 is Scrabble. 2 is Yatsi. And number 1, as expected, in a runaway, Monopoly. Great
Yes.
list. Thank you, everybody that voted. We'll have more
Yes.
things like this. Yeah.
Thank you,
All right.
because we intend, and I'm speaking for the 3 of us, the participation matters. We appreciate it. We want to continue to come up with fun polls like this. Even though we really weren't heated, except for Terry and his damn Clue. I mean, he got feisty today. Blame Terry.
No, I got
Hashtag.
feisty 20-something years ago.